good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good energy, good vibes. Depending on what time you're gonna tune into this, but for all my peoples around the world, good vibes, good vibes. Bringing up the energy today. I'm bringing up the energy today. I seen it. We're gonna get into it this morning. We're gonna talk about it. I just wanted to make sure you guys get in here and make sure you guys, we made it to another day. So you gotta feel blessed. You gotta feel blessed. We are all blessed living to see what's going on next. So that's the one thing I want to start off with. But I'm definitely going, let's just jump right into it, man, with this whole Diddy thing, man. It's okay, so we're at the point where it's kind of like Diddy has been a demon over so many years now, and it seems like the people and all the victims that he once hurt are coming back to haunt him, and in a way where that we all get to see it in real time. Now, I did see the recent, I believe the young lady, her name, I believe her last name was Gavin or Garvin, something like that, her claims. And I believe every word of everything against Diddy when it comes to that type of situation. The R, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to violate YouTube's guidelines, but it is definitely looking really bad for him. And anybody just saying that he has to be proven, they're waiting to see if he's guilty first, stay away from those people. Us, as regular human beings, know in our hearts that Diddy is, he's a troubled man. He's a troubled man. He's the type of guy that he likes to take advantage of everybody. It's not only disgusting, but my heart goes out to that young lady, the last victim that's coming forward, just having the strength to bring it now and have to face not only, you know, her demon Diddy, but she has to face social media. She has to face everything, and that's not easy just sitting there. So I want to commend her for her strength. And the things that Diddy was doing, what about the security guard? Is anybody talking about that guy? Do we even know if he's being charged too? Because it can't be only just one person. That's how I feel. It just can't just be one person. I'm very upset at the fact that they're just putting it, it's not just, these things are not just little, this is somebody that might be the biggest monster that ever touched hip hop. The way he treated people, the way he just took advantage of people, it's beyond me. I'm still shocked at the way, you know, when people are telling their stories and they're all lining up, like the stories all are the same. The stories are closely damn near mirroring each other. That he has to drug them and then they wake up and then they feel, you know, it's like this is the type of stuff that I've been talking about for a while now. And as far as the females and the queens out there, you have to protect yourself and you have to be around, especially when it comes to guys. You have to be very careful out there. There's, you know, people are getting roofies and this and that. It's not, these type of things are not stopping. You have to be careful of people just buying you drinks. Queen, you're supposed to have enough to buy yourself a drink. A man buying you a drink doesn't say anything for that man. Let me just tell you right now, just because somebody buys you a drink, it doesn't say he's a nice guy or a gentleman. That doesn't say that at all. So please don't, you know, don't let a man's, you know, like the money and those things fool you guys into thinking that, because it almost like takes away from, you know, what, because I believe women have a lot more to offer in these relationships. And for these men that don't even see that and all they can see is sex, it's a sad thing. And this is how the way of social media has shaped things and make people feel like that's just it. And it's sad because you're worth more than that. You're worth way more than that. Don't go trusting these people and they putting things in your drinks, because it's the ones that they can't have is the ones that they want to take. And I noticed that, and I don't feel sorry for Diddy at one bit, because, man, I don't know how a person can reach that high in the heights, and it comes all the way now to come out. Like, why did it take so long? Why did it have to take till now? Because he has money and he could pay for lawyers? What about a person's story? What about believing in what a person says? It doesn't matter how much money you have. Usually the time when you have the most money, we don't know how, well, we see how he got there with all that money. He snaked people for the money. All those people with the bad contracts and telling people, you know, taking people's beats and saying that he was the producer on the songs. All of this stuff was the things that he was doing to take people's soul and take the power out of them. And it's sad, and now and they always look, listen, please, ladies, they always gonna go to you guys because they feel like they don't have no value in you. They don't respect you. A lot of these guys, they see the females doing good now with the music, and they kicking up like they wasn't doing it for the past couple years for the rest of the time, and they feel because they don't want the females to have that independence. Once you grab your independence and you find the value in yourself, we have to come with something else. It's not just about sex, and you don't believe, you won't even imagine how many options you have until you value yourself. It's not the guy that's gonna be, because think of it like this: in times of desperation, okay, there's two types of guys. There's a guy that has the most money and he pays for his problems. He pays for when things go wrong. He pays for your Benz note, whatever you have to do. He's gonna pay for those problems, and he gets it out the way. Then there's another guy where that he gets it from the mud. He's gonna work on try to find some kind of solutions to things, and that happens to fill your inner spirit. That's the part where that's the guy you need. The guy that just pays off everything. When a problem occurs, when it comes down to the relationship, he's gonna run. He's gonna go the other way. You see a lot of the reason why you see a lot of dudes cheating is not because it's not like we can just jump online and have options of every female. That's not what it is. It's the fact that a lot of females don't understand the value of themselves, and dudes prey on that. Once you don't know the value of yourself, you can find yourself with so many different types of dudes that you don't even have the experience to find your soulmate. And then you find guys like Diddy and these guys, usually I would call these people, they know how to deceive and suck your soul. Once they see you looking up to them and you looking at them like they're some type of Michael Jackson, yeah, they're gonna take advantage of you. They want you to worship them. And if you look at all of their relationships, none of these relationships were solid relationships. I mean, every damn near picture you see of Cassie, if you look back now, if her family had to look back now, you see all these bruises and things on her face and all of this. Like, he didn't even care putting his lady in the public. So who's to say that's your lady? And then you notice that all these CEOs and stuff, they date the chicks so young because they don't have that grown man mentality, that king mentality. They don't have that. They can't just stare you into the right places. That's the reason I can't believe he did that. Like, I just can't believe, it's so shocking. Nobody at this point can say that they expected this. It's so shocking up to this point that Diddy did all of this to all of these women. But it shows you how the world is and the respect that they have for women. That a female doesn't feel even comfortable enough at a man that did that to them, know that already if they go to whoever the authorities, that they might not even win that case. And this is when all them conspiracies that they was trying to hide and things like that, saying that, this is not true. Trust me, I believe that content creators are the ones that steer in this generation, because even the news are coming to us for information and coming to us to see different points of views, because the views that is put out there by the hip hop executives and the people in hip hop is covered up views. It's covering up what's really going on, and they've been doing it for years and years and years to come. And I'm very disappointed in people like Usher and people that seen these things going on, and they sing these songs of love, and then they go out there and in the back of their head they know that their friend is doing this to their partner. How could you feel good and say that that's a friend if you see that what your friend is doing is he's falling off and you just letting him go down that path? It's like, come on. And how many people does a man have to do that to for some, I can't believe it. It's just that just thinking back on how she sat there and she had to build up the strength just to speak on this situation in front of the world. Alone took more strength than you would even imagine. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Love you guys. I mean, come on, Come on. We gotta. You know what I wanted to talk about too? It was going on. I started to realize, did you guys check out, Eve, she was talking about that she had got drugged at one point and Janet Jackson had saved her. These are the little things in the stories that sometimes we often miss because of the glitz and the glamour, but I believe her too. You know, somebody probably wanted to do whatever to her and slip that in her drink. You don't even, you can't even trust the bartenders anymore. You know, you never know who has something out for you or feel some type of way about you. And when it comes to anything you have to put in your body that will alter your mind or even make you feel good, you have to guard the you have to guard yourself and the people around you, because people out there are wicked. There are wicked people out there. And I want you to know, as a female out there, the way you present yourself is going to mean a whole lot in 2025. Don't think you have to go and change your body up and this and that, because when you go and change up your body, don't you know that speaks a language to a certain amount of people? Don't you know that? Don't you know, if God forbid you out there trying to find yourself a job and this and that, and you walking in there with some old BBL and this and that, don't you know that they're going to look at you different? Don't you know that's a different language how people look at you? So you don't want to confuse people's description of you. You want to let people know, don't judge me for how I'm just presenting myself. I want you to feel what I have inside and how I think. That's what's going to bring our value back, because I see a lot of people just throwing themselves away for money. Throwing themselves away for money because they can just get money. And do what with it though? What are you going to do with the money? If you don't have this up here or nowhere to put it, it's just going to go into somebody's hands that don't even love you or care about you. So, I mean, the chase for money and this whole you wanting to have a whole bunch of people knowing who you are, that type of stuff is played out. That type of stuff is played out. I feel like the little huddles that we have and the little groups that we have, that we could find ourselves agreeing on more things than disagreeing. That's what brings value in the community. Not a whole bunch of people just following behind people because it's cool to do. Yeah, rappers make things cool, but they have to hold the responsibility of the things that they are making cool. Popping pills is not cool. Guns in the camera is not cool. Saying whatever you want, going around treating your lady like you're just cheating on a whole bunch of women, having a whole bunch of baby mothers. None of that stuff is cool. It's ignorant. It's ignorant. I don't want to know your baby mother and how many baby mothers you have if you're not even trying to be the king that God put you on this earth to be. It's not cool. So what are you saying? That you slept with a whole bunch of, and you got a whole bunch of kids and you have enough money to pay for them. So what? Money can't pay for the mental. Time. You can't. You damn near, if you put the time into all the kids you have, you wouldn't even have time to make money. So you put yourself in this box, in this trap, that now you feel like the only way that you can feel on top again is if you date a whole bunch and just keep doing this new thing over and over again. That thing don't play in your mind. Cause I mean, come on now. I mean, it's like people are just throwing their life away for like a cheap anything that's for a quick buck. I can't believe that, man. It sucks. It sucks. And I see, the sad part. Okay, in hip hop, the sad part of it is that he was the mogul. He reached those heights, CEO, bad boy, Biggie. But then the sad part about it is the victims, the deception, the bad contracts, what he did to people's soul, take people's energy and even shoot people. That lady in the club, when I listened back to her story now, I was so mad at myself for not giving her a better ear and believing in her story as well. Because I'm figuring, wait, maybe she just, is Diddy and Shine, and Diddy has the most money, and there I am falling in this whole pot of thinking about money is going to be the right side. There I was. And then when I rewind it back, it just hit me like, hold on, let me listen to her story again. Hold on, what did she say? She said, Diddy is the one that shot her. And I'm thinking like, man, there's only a few more people that would know this. And there's two more, Jennifer Lopez and Shine. And Shine already said that Diddy did him dirty and went out. So what does that say to her? That said I was wrong in thinking. So when I look back now, I realized what a demon this man was. He felt like money can clear up any situation. We're not going to see Diddy again. We're not going to see Diddy again. And it's because, I see I hear the thing about the liquor and how, he said, that other brand was racist. Maybe they wasn't racist. Maybe they knew a little bit more about Diddy, and they realized that they're not gonna put forward any more of his promotion of that Darion liquor or whatever, because they probably heard something behind the scenes. People hear things, you know. So they heard things before Diddy even knew, and probably heard something about the feds going on, and they don't want to promote it anymore. And here he come barging through the door talking about, oh, y'all are racist. It's not every white person racist. If they was racist, why would they put you on to a venture like that to make you millions and millions of dollars? And you talking about they don't promote it. What do you mean they don't promote it? You promote it. You've been the biggest promoter all this time. And you got the nerve to slander those people. Maybe they heard about you before you even realized they was on you. And they didn't want to promote you anymore. So that's scratched out. All of these theories that people have to try to put this bubble around Diddy, it's not working, y'all. What we are seeing here is one guy, and let me tell you, don't think it's just Diddy. Do not think it's just Diddy. Even on a regular block, just look at it like this. If one person buy a new car on the block, you're gonna see another person buy a car on the block. If that car is one color, this guy is the same color. That's just how we are as humans. It's how life works. So you think that Diddy throwing those parties, there wasn't somebody else trying to compete with him or some other CEO trying to compete with him? That's why they running, because they was doing the same thing. Yeah, Diddy had the top parties, but who had the party number 2? Who was just scaling coming up to Diddy's parties? Don't let these people fool you. Their whole objective behind this whole music industry was to make the most amount of money at a certain amount of time and do what they have to do to get out of it. Now, for the artists that put their hearts into the music and had to face these types of gatekeepers that held them back, that was the message from God telling those particular artists, this is not the place for you. If you look at life like that, you will find yourself in a better place, because the more you're around these types of people, the more that energy becomes a part of you. All I'm saying. All I'm saying. These guys, you know, it's not everybody, because I see a lot of people in the industry too. I see that they're just as surprised as we are. So you got to give them some grace too, because they're looking at it like, I didn't even believe he was like this. Like, you know, I think it's the tape of him and Cassie but for the people that knew him and knew the type of man he was, they should at least came forward. Even if they didn't tell us exactly what was going on, they should at least came forward and let us know. The person you think he is, he's not that. And it's not like you have to come on social media and you know, you could do the blink twice. You could do the blink twice, you know, and give us a hint. We smart enough. There's a smart. See, that's what people think. Like, there's groups of people around the world that we study psychology. There's things that you're not gonna be able to fool everybody. In other words, you know, the magic trick can only last for so long when it comes to social media. Eventually, people are gonna want to figure it out to do the magic trick for themselves. You understand? The trick is not in the magic. The trick is in the mind of having other people thinking that this is magic just because they can't understand. And that's what's going on in hip hop. So all of that deceiving, I feel so, and I could just imagine how many females in hip hop that have these similar stories. Don't think that your favorite artist, female artist, hasn't went through this, or even a male artist. Even a male artist. So we have to, you know, this is going to, I tell you, this is not going to be easy. But I feel like if you ask me, 25 to life. That's what I think they're going to hit him with. And if he fights it, it's looking bad. And, you know, when I always talk to you guys about the antitrust, you know, like little companies going against these big companies. I'm really happy that, and it goes to show you that, you know, what a lot of these big companies do is they don't even have ideas. They don't even want to hire the youth to bring in their youthful spirit and their ideas to these big companies. You know what they do? They put the youth in somewhat in the door. Give them an internship and then train somebody else to be like them, take their energy, and then put that on their products. But there is no story in their products because their story has been told years and years before. So now when they're presenting these products to the youth and they're not having no connection to them, they are scared and they start taking from what the youth is building. So I'm so happy that Tiny and T.I., you see how much money they won? And that's for standing up and realizing, no, that company stole from me. They took something that we did and they tried to profit off of it without even including us. And you can do that to any company. Even if you're a small company building it up, that's what the government wants us to have, that trust in it. If you want to start small, you can make it all the way up there instead of having to worry about these big companies over marketing and oversharing and overpaying, overcompensating and pushing the little companies out. Because once you get rid of the little companies, the big companies is going to crumble. They don't realize that. They don't realize it. They feel like if they push everybody out the way, that they'll be the only ones that people are shop with. But us as the community start realizing, no, we can't buy 2 and 3 of those. We have to maybe just get one this time. And they don't want that. They want all of it. So the greediness and the selfishness and that type of energy going around is what it starts going around in every different format, like hip hop, the movies, even like technology. They want the AIs to make more, push all the workers out. We're going to see this greediness in all of these different places, and we have to know how to identify it. Even in man like Diddy's greedy, man. He's taking from people that don't want to give him something, and he just take it and drug him. And what about, I just want to know, who is the security guard? Who are these people that was around him? We need to start seeing some faces of these people. They have no right to, that they can say they want to hide their face. No, there has to be more than just Diddy being arrested in this. You talking about a party? A party is not just one person. So people, and as far, and a message that goes out to all the females out there that has been treated this way, and you might not have the strength to come and explain yourself and explain your story. Let me explain to you. You put on your small panties when you went to the party. Now you got to put on your big girl panties when you come into this court, because you're doing something that's more bigger than yourself. This situation right here is not just about you, even though if you are part of it. This situation is about how this whole industry was treating people, the mistreating of people. Don't you know, you got to think about the time while people, there's so many, think about all the things that happen in just in these past spare times, like, like from George Floyd, from females getting killed. Remember that they ran in her house and they shot her. All of these situations he was looking at too. I'm just looking through Diddy's perspective. He's looking at these situations and he couldn't fix himself. He was one of those demons. When a demon watches another demon at work, I wonder how they feel. I wonder how a demon looks and sees, see another, like a group of people getting a RICO and feel like they're not going to be the next one. It's like you could just tell that their mentality, their frame of mind, it's off. It's off. There's a chemical imbalance in some of these people. They're out there, they're hurt, and they're hurting other people, and they're still not feeling fulfilled within that hurt. Like you would think that, okay, you're hurt, so you're going to hurt somebody. You hurt them, and then you're fulfilled. You don't have to do this again. No, they hurt them, and they don't know what's next. They have to, and really what it ends up is they end up hurting themselves in the end. They can't come to any solutions. They can't come to any conclusions because they're already mentally imbalanced. Yeah, we wish there was a place where sexual abuse crimes and things like that, there was in a prison just for that, where that can be maybe, see if it's work on them and see if there's something inside of them that makes them have this urge to go out there and do this to people. But it's unfortunately with taxpayers' hard-earned money, it is going into different places. There's not enough. It's just not enough. It's just not enough. With the immigrants coming in here, they're being arrested on a daily basis, being let out. It's because there's not enough space. The amount of crimes going on. I'm not sure, but I've heard at one time, you don't quote me on the number, but it is a true fact near this number. I'm hearing that it's like something like $1 million per bunk as far as in prison. This is like, it's like a cycle that we could have broke a long time ago. I'm talking about if AI can solve so many things, these are just human pattern things that we see patterns in people, hurting people, and we can solve these things. This is not something that we can't tackle. I can understand how much of a reach and the fleet is the gun violence, because You have some people out there that has guns, and they're victims. They're not bad people. They're just scared to be hurt. And that's why sometimes when I see these situations on the news now, I give it a different lens, you guys. I kind of give it a look like I want to hear the story first, because sometimes what you see cannot tell the story. Sometimes the story starts somewhere else or somewhere in this past time and it led up to this. And we have to understand that. Like there's a lot of people out here that they're working off of like this PTSD type of energy, and they're scared and they're looking back, and everybody's on this edge. So if something approaches them that even feels like something that they've seen on the news, on social media, of course their reaction to that is most likely going to be the wrong reaction. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I feel like, and people don't even realize that Diddy's kids can also, I believe not all of his kids, but I believe if one of them or two of them could go down and do big time, and that's all up to the federal, that's all up to the FBI. That is all up to them. If they feel like they want to pull, but it's just like if what people don't understand, they are being very kind with this type of RICO that they're working. If they wanted to, it only takes two people, and they can bring everybody in on those two people if they wanted to. But they're trying to be more sharp with it, you could tell this time, and make sure the right people are put in the right places. And that is something that you got to commend those guys too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you guys, the people that might have been mistreated in these types of situations. But as far as the evidence, I only have to sometimes you just have to stick to this story and stop putting other people's stories comparing, and stick to what we're seeing. The evidence that has been presented up to this point shows that Diddy was more than just a demon. This guy should have been locked up years and years ago. Years and years ago. And healing energy to Miss Wallace, because these are the outside people that people might not just think about, but on the side there in their little corners looking, from a distance and seeing what's going on, because they were hurt in their heart knowing that he was a bad man. But sometimes people just bop to, it's just the beat. The beat just keep going. The beat keeps going on and on and on and on, and you're just bopping and you're not realizing. You're not realizing what's going on. You're not realizing. You're just so used to, it happened to me too, till I broke out of that. Like, hold on, before I invest in anything, anybody, I want to know what type of person, what type of product this is. And where is it coming from? Is this coming from a place of love, or is this coming from a place of hate? These are the things that I want to know before I get myself into these type of situations. Come on, man. It's just, there's no way, there shouldn't be, as far as the hip hop community, you shouldn't be waiting to see if I heard a lot of people say, we're waiting to see if he's guilty or not. What do you mean? What are you waiting for? That same waiting, you need to take that same time you're waiting and go find yourself in something productive besides what you're doing right now, making no sense. What do you gotta wait for? You have a heart, you have eyes, you have ears, you see what's going on. Why you gotta wait for somebody else to tell you? And that's the reason why you're at where you're at. Because you have to wait for somebody to take you or do this, and do it for yourself. Think for yourself. How you feel about it. When you look at the lady sitting there, do you feel like she's lying or not? Why you gotta wait for your friends to group up? No, you don't need to wait. It's right there. Go get it. Start thinking. You see that lady right there holding her heart? Come on now. We got to do better as a culture, and can't allow these things to be around. Because I can't put myself, I can't sign up to that and say that I'm supporting that type of hip hop. No, I don't care who it is or how much money they have. It doesn't make you a real person. Like that doesn't mean anything. That was man-made stuff. You got to get that stuff out your life, man. You see how quick that Diddy was a billionaire and now he's a zeronaire? You see how that goes? It's because it's the choices he made. No matter how much money he made in between the years we thought he was making money, it wasn't his money he was making. He was making, as God would tell the story, he was making money for all of these victims that he hurt. That's karma. That's karma. That's karma. That's karma. Let God work his ways. Let God work his ways. Don't let these people fool you just because they don't believe in him. They're going to all fall short. Listen to your boy. Trust me. That's how God works. All that money he was making up to this point with the liquor, the Ciroc, this and that, the first person he hurt would be the last person he see. So when that money built up and all the money he made, it was for all the victims. So yeah, come step up, come get your money. Don't let these people, just because they mad because y'all getting money, y'all got hurt in a way that somebody, you can't take that out of you. You can't do that. Don't let nobody tell you. Nobody can tell you how you feel. Us as human beings, you can't let somebody tell you how you feel. Somebody can kick you and you can move on with your day, and somebody can kick you and that can make you scared to even go on that block ever again. You can't tell somebody or explain how somebody's gonna feel. God made us all different. Everybody doesn't think the same. Everybody can't deal with this type of trauma. It's not just pay your way out of it, everything. It's not about that. It takes so much nowadays to even live in these types of environments. Give somebody a chance of understanding, to know what's going on around them. I've seen so many mothers didn't even realize that their kids was doing this type of nonsense and going out there and hurting people. And when their kid get arrested now, the mothers, they're in this shock state. But people think that doesn't hurt the parents too. The parents are there, you stripping people of their soul. And for what? Because y'all can't sit down, focus yourself, and write some music that brings people together, instead of writing music that's going to tear and make their communities, destroy their communities. Wake up. Ain't nobody to tell you that you have to be super positive and this and that. But if you are, cool, I'm with it. But you don't have to be that. You don't have to change that about you. But everybody got good in them. Just start working on that part. Stop acting like you some demon like these people. These people doing this nonsense over and over, making you feel like you're a demon, making the word demon feel like that's a word you're supposed to champion. No, I can't champion demon if I'm championing God and King. It just doesn't. That's just the opposite. We gotta butt heads. We gonna butt heads no matter what. When we see each other, we gonna butt heads. Know what it is. That's how it go. And we're not moving back. We're not moving back. We're not moving back. We going forward no matter what, and no matter who's in front. We taking people, the Diddies, whatever those demons are, and however they present themselves and try to mask themselves, we're stripping them of the mask and they out of here. Whoever feel like that man or they feel like that guy or that type of energy is needed here, you out of here too. I told you guys from the beginning, it's not about how tough you are in your physical, it's about how tough you are in your mental. Now they say the man ain't eating it. Only a couple days he ain't eating. Huh? We can do better than that. We've been through worse circumstances. Talking about he ain't eating in 2 days, y'all. I said, damn. I could snack on bread for dinner. Been there. He can't eat because he this and that. He feel like they're going to poison him. He can't even trust nobody now, but nobody can trust him. So all the stuff that he did to people is the karma that's coming back to him. The movie started, man. You can't even get popcorn. You don't want to miss this. Y'all don't want to miss this. Y'all don't want to miss it. People are tuning in every day, man. The views are almost up like the debates. Because a mogul did this to people and now it's in front of the world. You see how this works? You see how this karma works? Damn. So for the victims out there, don't feel like victims ain't supposed, no, victims supposed to stand up and stand tall. When you're a victim, that means you've been through something. You can take that same victim and turn it into a victory because you've been through something. A lot of people ain't been through nothing. So when it hit them, they don't know what's next to do. But when you're a victim of something, you know how to scale it in a way where you don't want to find yourself back in that same predicament ever again. So you're not going to fall to those type of circumstances. Because now you're working off of this type of energy instead of just, working off of the eyes and these senses. No, you have to, and the more you uplift yourself, you be sharp with it. Once you get sharp with it, it's over. It's a wrap. By the time you sharpen up you start getting to know yourself and valuing yourself, you'll have all ages in love with you. I'm just saying what it is. The younger chicks, you gotta tell them now I'm a little older, shorty, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I don't do that. Older females, you're like, oh, they want to get to know you better because that's the shortage of people. They using low energy every single day. Low energy, we can't do that no more, y'all. We can't do that no more. Come on now. That's just how I feel because every day, you know what? And even though I don't like to see it, I know we're gonna have to see it. That is gonna be more victims. There's gonna be a long list of people. Come on now, to take that, man. You think that all these years from now, all the way up to 2024, going into 2025, you think it's only this amount of people? Come on now, y'all know that. Now I hear that, let me see what, another thing that I wanted to say too, I feel like they are like, we have to stop like putting people against each other. Like I see that, I heard that Nicki Minaj was going off on Jay-Z, but I never heard Nicki Minaj was going off on Beyonce. And then social media just take to that and just want to see like people feud and put Nicki, and she didn't even do all of that. So stop putting these false things around people just to see people go into war and fight each other and talk about each other the wrong way. This is not negative energy I'm bringing you this morning. No, 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 no. This is healing energy. And this is the type of energy that you understand that, you know what? He's right. I'm going to try to work it this way. I'm going to try to see things for what it actually is. These people trying to trick me. Just question things every now and then. Don't just take it for face value. Like, does it even sound right? Nicki Minaj beefing with Beyonce. Everybody love Beyonce. Nobody don't want no beef with Beyonce. Huh? Nobody want beef. I don't even want to see Jay-Z and Beyonce, like, no breakups and no funny news like this going on because, come on, man, what we want to do? See all the people that's doing well for themselves come down? We don't want to see that. So why would somebody put that out there? It's like people are trying to guess and put people against each other. It's the same thing when Kendrick and Drake was going on. I say, well, both of these guys are going at each other, but it feels like the fans and the people want to see one of these people, like, poof and go away, like, never come back. That's what type of energy I was feeling. Like when Kendrick win and then they don't want to ever hear this again. And it's like, what are you guys trying to do here? Like, what are we doing here? Because if that's the case, nobody gonna want to do this battle thing ever again. Because yes, you do have a family to feed and people that you employ and things like that. Why would you, it wouldn't be a boss move or a strategic move to do something like that. That's that same versus type of thing I was telling you guys. Like you have to like destroy the person. It's like, what are you doing? What is that? What's that? Why does music have to, competitive lyrics, it does sound good here and there, but I'd rather story lyrics, y'all. I'm not really, it's only a certain amount of things you can say bad about a person until you start realizing half of the bad stuff you said about them, it goes to you too. Think about it. So, it's kind of like, nah, man, like, we definitely need a way to, like, I seen another story I wanted to bring to you, Halle Berry. When Little Kim say, somebody's a bag of peanuts, bag of rocks? I don't know, man. Halle. I just don't, I don't even want to type of bring that energy, but, she said, and this is very hard when it comes to parenting. So I want to word this right. Like she said, when her kids grow, that they have on their own, they have to find themselves, and she's not. But that's not the type of energy you want to give your kids. I don't know where she come from, but just as far as the West End, you always want to let your kids know, whether it's financially or mentally, you're always going to be there for them. But just putting them out there in the world, when they reach a certain point in age, that's not the way to look about it. They have to understand that if you can give them understanding on the fight it took for their mother to reach that type of status to make that amount of money, then they'll more appreciate that journey that their mother went through, and they'll want to form their own journey. But if you started off with just giving them things and things and things and things, and they don't understand where the money's coming from, how mommy got it, then if something should happen, God forbid, then they're stuck with this amount of money that you left them, and then they don't know where to take it or, push on the legacy, in other words. So that's the real thing about it. It's not like, if you leave, your kids have to be on their own. It's not really about that. I think it's more about putting the seeds in their minds that accomplishing something means more in life than somebody just giving you something. That the value in somebody just giving you something is way lower than just you earning it for yourself. And earning the things for yourself feels way better, and you value it. It lasts longer. There's a lot of things that comes with that. That kids can look into that and they can understand the reason why. But a lot of families are like that. I've seen, especially a lot of rich families. I always hear like, he passed away and left the money to the dog, and it's all because the love that we might have thought that they had, it wasn't there behind the scenes. It wasn't matching. So it's absolutely crazy. If we keep looking at and like worshiping money, when a person gets to a certain status of money, they're going to be so fearful of having so much money that so many people from so many places are trying to get it from them, that how is that a way to live? After you earn or you made a product that's sold all around the world and you reach this point of success, and now you can't enjoy it because the stress of everybody wanting to take what you have is killing you. That don't make no sense. It should be you reach a certain point and you can sit back and bask in that joy that you made it to that point, and people can look and say, you know what, I'm going to get to that point. That's how it should be. The instant gratification, the fast money, having to pay for stuff, overcompensating, having to buy things that break within a year and you have to buy it again. These are the type of things that channels our mind to say, it ain't going to last anyway. Get that mentality out of here. Don't invest into things that you think that's not going to last long. The only thing we're forced to do things like that are like phones. Phones are like a great example of that. Like if you have a phone, it's going to break within a year or two, no matter what, no matter how new the phone is. And that's just the cycle of tricking people. You have to really get your mind out of that cycle of thinking that, things are not going to last. And just always think forever in the things that you do, and think forever in the things that you want to create in your mind, because sometimes you have to build a part of it for somebody else to latch onto that and build the next part. So use your energy like that. That's how I use my energy. When I put something out here on YouTube Live, it's for whoever watches. You take it in the way you take it, and you try to use it in a good way so that good energy can move on to whoever you're speaking to. That's what it's really about. It's not about just taking the energy and just trying to go for views. You have more subscribers. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to me, guys. We're not going to all have the same subscribers. We're trying to build with each other. Good people say, you know what? I'm going to give them a shout out to try to build with them. A lot of people like building you up. You'll find people in your journey that will want to help you move on. Shouts out to Germany. And Germany is the largest. When I was younger, one of my neighbors were moving to Germany. Man, so, I'm not sure of this, but I'm pretty sure Germany has a big hip hop culture out there. So they're going through it in Germany. You out there in Germany? I want to know how different parts of the world is looking and taking this whole thing, how hip hop is going, Like, how are they taking Diddy? Like, because I know the further you go away from the States, the further you move, it builds up a little more. You have a little more energy for the celebrities. You have a little more excitement for the celebrities the further you're away from them. The closer you are to the celebrities, you tend to find out all the inside stuff, the behind the scenes stuff. So that type of, it gets washed away a little bit when you actually know who that person is. So I really would love to hear from different people, like in the UK, how are they feeling about this whole Diddy situation? Is it surprising to them? I don't know. I just want to hear other people's opinion. Other people's energies. It's like you gotta work with good energy around you. When you guys leave your comments, especially I have 2 videos up today. Mixed race versus generational mixed people, and it's really a conversation not a lot of people talk about. But these types of conversations, the reasons why I bring them up, because when you look back at these, you see we have so much in common. We have so much similar. But yet people, they sit on our differences and they highlight those things. Diddy it's things just always pop into my head. The things that he did to up to this point, like he named himself Love, y'all. He was just like throwing it in people's faces, in the victims' faces. So I could understand how Karma turned this whole thing around and took him up to $1 billion, and now all the victims are being compensated from the same money he stole from all these people. This is the untold, the unshown movie that hip hop probably would never ever get to see. This is crazy. If you really think about this whole situation and how it ended up, how he started and hurting people from the beginning all the way up till now, and now all the money that he ever made through his career, he has to compensate and pay back all the victims. I mean, you can't make this up. You can't make it up. Oh, another thing. If you guys love ice cream, this just on another note. The Briars, they are being they dropped a settlement for it's almost millions of dollars because the vanilla wasn't real vanilla. And I always tell you guys about this, about the food, and it's up to a certain amount of time you can collect your money if you bought up to like April 21st, I believe it's 2016, all the way up to 2024. If you bought Briar's ice cream within that time, yeah, you can be compensated. So you guys look into Briar's ice cream if you like Briar's ice cream like I do. But somewhere, somehow in between there, they're saying that the vanilla wasn't real or something like that. And in my head, I'm like, you can't just pay people off. What was it then? Tell people what it was. If it wasn't vanilla, at least leave people with something else besides, oh, you can go pick up your money. It's like, what? I understand that money is a big part of us, as a society, just wanting to grow. But damn, man, you gonna put the money before people's health and just feed people anything? That's why you gotta watch these people. Cook your own food, man. Or go to places where you can trust those people cooking your food for you. Don't just be popping up in these places where they gotta keep up their chain name and they gotta keep up that A on the window, because those are the same places they'll put anything in the food just to get it out of there. Don't be fooled, y'all. Don't be fooled, y'all. In these days to come, we're going to see a lot of deceptional stuff, a lot of it. But you got to know and understand, what's what and who's who. That's all. That's all. How y'all doing? Where y'all tuning in from, man? Let me know. Because the list is dropping. Now, allegedly, I heard that Khloe. You talking about you been in a Diddy's party when you walked up in there, everybody was butt naked. And you knew that. That man is weird. Like a dog with 6 legs. Khloe, you got to be careful, because you don't know when the feds go and they pull out the people that were in these parties participating in these types of stuff. We might see some other celebrities too that's being arrested. Don't be fooled by what's next to come. This might be, as a matter of fact, this is going to be bigger than the OJ. They're lining up. They are lining up. They are lining up. But I'm glad T.I. and them won that settlement. It just goes to show that, the smaller companies and could fight the big businesses, because you got to be honest with people. Forget about all the billions and trillions and zillions you want to make, and start trying to be honest with people and try to make your wealth on honesty and stop making your wealth on deception. Because what we're seeing now, when you make your wealth on deception, your kids fall victim to the karma, families, things just start happening. When your wealth is built and it's coming from a place where it is built out of love and it's built out there to help other people, but other people are going to help you along the way. That's how God make it. Even when you think your legacy is almost over, somebody going to always come up to you and be like, are you that? Yeah. And you're ready to go again. It's because you put good out to the people. You didn't upset people's minds and make people go the wrong routes and make people make the wrong decisions. No, you chose to tell people the truth and tell people, no, don't do it this way. Do it like this, and you can probably get this out of it. I made this mistake. You should do it this way. That's the type of energy that's going to keep you around for a longer time. That's all it's about. I don't see why it's so hard for people to just be honest with people. Maybe it's because they had the mask on so long that taking that mask off, they're scared that people will see him as a different person. But so what? Who cares, yo? There's been many a times where people made mistakes and they came back like a different person, and people just champion them from that point on. So as an MC, as an artist, or that's out there and that was dealing in hip hop, or you should if you didn't have to, hurt anybody, you should be so happy that you're a survivor. You made it. You put your poetry down and you made something of yourself, and you didn't have to hurt people to get what you had to. That's what true hip hop is about. To the youth out there, don't ever think that people like this is why hip hop was made. That's not what it's about. It was to uplift people, and it still is to uplift people. We just got to separate the nonsense from the stuff that really is meaningful in the culture. It's still a culture, and it's still needed to be respected. Because I don't think there's any other genre that went this long. When a culture and a genre gets this popular, you have to understand that things like this can happen. But if we come together, you start realizing how big hip hop is and what it really stands for. It has nothing to do with sliding, has nothing to do with death. It has nothing to do with the things that is being presented in these times. It has everything to do with you uplifting yourself. If you come from a place of struggle, you can take a different lens and get yourself out of that place and show so many in similar situations that they can do the same. By your words, by your skill, you can be a DJ, you can make beats, producing, you can make hip hop clothing. There's so many different things that you dancing. Oh my goodness, the dancing and hip hop is so many different ways the culture puts together, like dancing, and different people in different boroughs dance different and come together in one and then all share these different types of. I mean, it's so much more than sliding and killing people. That what people, it's like right now it's just like, and the over sexualization. We can dim the lights on that a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit, because you're already in there selling records. You got the views, you got the viewers. Why continue on with that nonsense? Why can't from this point on you tell your story? I believe every person has a story that is not similar to anybody else's because it's you. And when you hear people's stories are similar, or how he was standing on this block selling this rock, that's when you really want to close down and think about, this guy is not being his authentic self. She's not being her authentic self. I'm yet to see an album of a single mother, or an album talking about single mothers, what does single mothers go through, and the strengths that it takes to raise a family, and having all these situations, not being able to date certain types of people. These are stories that still need to be fulfilled in the music, and people really have to pay attention to. It's not that hard. If you want to write a story on anything that you feel that's going to be, take your time out, try to put a little blueprint together for your album, and work on it on the side while everybody's doing whatever, trying to look for the hottest beat. You're trying to look for the type of words and the wording that's going to, attach to your fan base and make people say, you know what? They know what they're talking about. Don't just take things and just be like, you know what? I just need a nice beat and I got to get played on the radio. No. When you do get played on the radio, make sure it's for something like, something that when people hear it, like, oh, that sounds different. I'm telling you, you eventually, the more people don't want to sound like each other, the more it'll feel like we have a more selection of things, of different types of music, and why is it every time every rapper comes from a separate culture as far as how they're upbringing, they're raising. Like some people are Nigerian, some people are Jamaican, some people are American. That part of the story has to be told too. That part is always like left out because the fame and things like that. We want to know, like, like Slick Rick was West Indian, and it's so many different, like, what about, Big Pun, Puerto Rican. There's so many things that you can highlight in hip hop besides how tough you are, or how you can back yourself up, or how your crew is doing. No, there's a lot of things where you could say, my family is from, my family is from the West Indies, and you insert that, and then people, it's just open a different type of route for yourself in these times, because people are just doing what other people are doing, and it's not fulfilling. I'm telling you, it's not fulfilling when you just think that it's going to work for you. It's fulfilling when it's working for you, you know? So that's what I had to bring to you this. I have a lot more videos. You know, I'll drop some new stuff out there. I dropped a surprise video, and you all see my channel. I've been working very, very hard just to keep you guys focused on the things that possibly could help you guys out as well. So that's what I'm always up to, man. So I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I always thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Appreciate y'all. I gotta go do a few things. I ordered a few things, and I just wanna step everything up, and it's just give people a different sound, a different energy to tune into. So until next time, it's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, y'all, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Peace.